Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, like, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here. So it's time for the next episode of Movie That Deserves a Sequel. Now, in today's video, guys, I'm going to be covering this time another example of an animated film which, in my opinion, does deserve a sequel. And this is for an animated film by a company which, unfortunately, in my opinion, has not really made much good things in recent years of their animated movies. But this film, however, I think is very underrated by them, and I would love to see more of this film to be like a big franchise, basically. And this film I'm going to cover, in which, in my opinion, does deserve a sequel, is none other than 2009's Monsters vs. Aliens. So yeah, now, you guys probably what do I think of Monsters vs. Aliens? Well, I really love this film, guys. I think it's a very underrated movie. One of DreamWorks' most underrated films they've done, and I really would love to see more of this to come in like a franchise, basically. So, you know, what's great about it, it has a very great concept of, like, you know, of a group of misfit monsters being hired by the United States Armed Forces to stop the invasion of an extraterrestrial villain and save the world in exchange for freedom. So, definitely, in my opinion, a pretty great story right there. And when it comes to a franchise, of course, the film doesn't even end off, you know, closing off the story at all, because at the end of the movie, of course, it sets up another villain, which, of course, is a monstrous snail called Escargantua, who is slowly making its way to Paris after falling into a nuclear reactor, resulting in the heroes taking off to confront the new menace. So right there, guys, it's clear there's a sequel set up right there for this. And you could tell lots of stories with these characters, absolutely. You really will be able to tell lots more stories with all of them, absolutely, because, you know, they're all great characters. Although, my least favourite character in the franchise, who I really hope would get recasted for a sequel, is probably Bob, because he's unfortunately voiced by an actor I lost respect for, of course, which is Seth Rogen. I hate Seth Rogen. So I really hope if they do a sequel, they recast him in the role, because he really annoys me. I lost respect for him. But you could tell lots of stories with these characters, absolutely. Now, when it comes to a future of this franchise, of course, though, despite its success in the market, unfortunately, due to the film having a weak performance in international markets, but it was announced by the CEO of DreamWorks, being Jeffrey Katzenberg, that a sequel would not be made. So yeah, that really sucks. So I was very disappointed about that. However, though, despite, of course, this sequel not happening due to a weak performance in international releases, the film did have a start of a franchise, because we got short films and TV specials, stuff like that, and even a TV show as well, which unfortunately got cancelled after one season due to low ratings and poor reviews. So yeah, what a shame. So that's why I really hope that DreamWorks will realise that, you know, this film is an example of a film that does deserve a sequel, because these days, in my opinion, guys, DreamWorks haven't got a clue what they're doing at all. And in recent years, they made cash grabs to films that didn't even need sequels to begin with. For example, I've already ranted in the series about how they made a sequel to Spirit. That 2D animated one, which I really love that they did. They made a horrible sequel in 2001, which I thought was terrible. They also made a sequel to A Cruise, which was not needed either, and I did not like the sequel at all. They also made a sequel to Trolls, being Trolls World Tour. I mean, I'm not really a fan of the first Trolls film either, guys, per se. But the sequel, however, I did hate, because it was literally a rip-off of Infinity War. So yeah. Unfortunately, they're going to be doing a third film of that as well, which I'm not going to be watching. I have no doubt in my mind it's going to be an Endgame rip-off. I have no doubt about it. And of course, as well, let's also not forget the infamous one, because they're of course going to be doing a fourth Kung Fu Panda movie, which I'm also livid about, because as far as I'm concerned, guys, Kung Fu Panda to me worked perfectly as a trilogy on its own. Absolutely. Just one trilogy alone for it, in my opinion. So there's no one going to be watching this fourth movie at all. And so that's why I really hope the DreamWorks will one day realise that, you know, there's some films in their franchise which don't need sequels, and some that do need sequels. They, of course, also made, of course, that Puss in Boots sequel, which I was not interested in because, in my opinion, the first Puss in Boots don't even need a sequel, so yeah, I'm not watching it. And also because animation from the trailer looked like torture to watch as well, because they were trying to copy Spider-Verse animation, which is not a good idea. The animation for Spider-Verse should stay in Spider-Verse for its own sake. So there's no way I'm going to be watching anything else for DreamWorks, because unless they do a sequel to this film, guys, or sequel to a Bad Guys, which I thought was also good, I am happily done with DreamWorks. There's no way I'm going to be watching anything else by them unless they actually do something good for a change, like a sequel to this, for example. So yeah, like, why this one didn't get a sequel is absolutely beyond me. It really shocks me that it did not get a sequel, because I think this is one of DreamWorks' most underrated films that, in my opinion, deserves more love. So I really hope that they do a sequel to Monsters vs. Aliens in the future, because I think it's a great film, but it deserves more love. The only thing I will hope is that they, of course, recast Rogan, because I despise Rogan. I hope they'll recast him. Because while I still like the character of Bob, you know, what if I was to pretend he's not voiced by Rogan, I unfortunately hate his actor, so it's hard for me to watch Bob knowing he's voiced by an actor I hate, so yeah, how unfortunate. But long story short, though, guys, in my opinion, Monsters vs. Aliens is a big example in the animated territory of a film that does deserve a sequel to me. So, in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll keep rewatching this, while hoping they'll build a sequel to it. I'll keep rewatching it like I do to other DreamWorks, these old movies, of course. And if they have like a Blu-ray release for it, I mean, which I hope they do, I'll definitely, of course, upgrade it to Blu-ray as well, for sure. Because it definitely does deserve to be watching Blu-ray, in my opinion. Because it's a very underrated movie. So hopefully they'll do it in Blu-ray, and I'll definitely get it one day for Blu-ray if I find it in my stores, absolutely. So yeah. And I hope that they will do a sequel, of course. Absolutely, because it does deserve one, in my opinion. Like, why we didn't do a sequel to this, but we did sequels to other of their franchises before. You know, they turned many of their other films into franchises before, is beyond me. So yeah, shocks me really that, you know, they didn't do anything else. They did also do a video game as well, based on the movie, so I might probably get that one day to play one day, see what I think of that. But it's unfortunate on the generations before the generation, so I might have to get, you know, I get it when I get a PS3, though, of course. So yeah. But nonetheless, though, however, I still think this is a big example of who does deserve a sequel. So yeah. So guys, this is me doing the next episode of a movie that deserves a sequel, and in today's video, guys, I was covering why, in my opinion, Monsters vs. Aliens deserves a sequel. So you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to let us know in the comments what you guys think of Monsters vs. Aliens. Do you need a sequel? Comments below what you think. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe for this coming future. If you would like to be a member, you can join it using a PC or in the description, and I'll see you all later.